Hello, sir. It is a pleasure to invite Professor Tony Mays, Director, Commonwealth of Learning, Canada, for our international work conference on ODBL 2026. Sir has been extensively working in the open and distance education. Sir, it is a complete honor to have you with us.
Thank you.
So to begin with, I would like to ask you that in Commonwealth of Learning, what kind of work is there? And basically, I want to understand your professional journey over there.
Okay, thank you. So I've been working in distance education my entire career.
Okay.
From the very first school I worked at in Malawi, which had a night school supporting distance learners that offered after-hours classes. And I have moved from Malawi to South Africa, where I was working for 30 years in different parts of distance education, and I joined COL in 2019.
Okay.
COL, of course, has been involved in distance learning for 39 years now. We were established in 1987 by Commonwealth heads of government to promote the use of open distance learning, technology-enabled learning, in order to increase access to educational opportunities. So that has been our mandate for 39 years. Initially our focus was in higher education, so trying to make universities dual mode and open universities. But now over the years we see that in order to get the learning pathway to higher education, we also began to work in open schooling, technical vocational education and training, but you can't do any of that unless you also train teachers, so we work in teacher education. And across the Commonwealth we have major challenges with girls' access to education, so we have a couple of projects that are focused primarily on getting girls and young mothers back into education, or finding opportunities for women who didn't have an opportunity in the past, and how we can connect them with training and employment. So our portfolio has diversified.
So considering you have such a vast experience, so what are the key challenges that you're facing now with the advent of AI and everything compared to when you started? So what are the key challenges that, major challenges that if you want to highlight?
So when we first started, it would have been the case that most distance education took the form of print-based, contact-supported kind of models.
Right.
And then we augmented that with broadcasting, audio-visual materials and such like. And then the next technology wave was probably around learning management systems, and the Moodles, the Blackboards, the Canvases. And then we had the MOOC period, which really came into it. Well, it went away and came back again during COVID. And now we have AI. And throughout that, distance learning providers have looked at the new technologies and they've taken away what we can easily integrate into our work. So we kind of don't follow the hype. We are very pragmatic. We say this is what we can do to improve the experiences that we're offering to our learners. So I see that AI is the current hot topic, but give it a couple of years, we'll have worked out how we can use it for the best, and I suspect a new technology will come in that we will need to adapt to.
So talking about the improvements, so what are the major capacity building activities or innovations that Commonwealth of Learning has done in recent years, which has really helped you to maybe grow in size, more involvement of the students? So what are the key things that you've done there?
Well, of course, Commonwealth Learning is not a provider itself. Our role is to build the capacity of ministries or public institutions, or in some cases NGO, civil society organizations that are registered with the ministry. So we reach students more indirectly. In order to do that, the kind of work we do is helping to build capacity around a policy so that you can create enabling frameworks for open distance learning. We've done a lot of work over the years, capacity building around the development, sharing, revision of open educational resources. And we do a lot of work around helping traditional, conventional in-person teachers to imagine how they can use technology to offer distance learning. So that's curriculum development, it's using technology tools, is helping people to think about digital uses for assessment and how you can close the feedback loop into improved practice. Probably one of the more recent challenges we've had is that with more and more providers coming into distance education, a lot of them come in without a background.
Right.
They kind of went into online learning without engaging with the literature on distance learning.
Right.
And that is true often also of the regulatory authorities.
Right.
So very often you have policy and regulations that were developed to regulate or guide in-service provision. And then you need to work with those regulatory authorities to introduce them to distance learning.
Right. So you've been closely working with the Indian ODL system per se. So what are the key strengths that you find or certain weaknesses that you find with respect to maybe quality assurance here in our Indian ODL system? If you can throw some light on that.
Now, I think in India we work a lot through our regional center, the Center for Educational Media for Asia. We have done a lot of work in similar areas around policy, supporting the accreditation authorities and such like. A big project we have at the moment, and I think it's important for India, but it's kind of Commonwealth-wide, is a concern around the fact that many of our graduates come out of the system without the knowledge and skills to go directly into productive employment. So we're working with 18 open universities here at the moment in helping them to audit what they're doing in terms of whether they're developing graduate employability type skills and helping them to revise curricula, revise the ways in which they teach and assess so that the graduates are more likely to find employment going forward. I think what is unique about India is the scale at which you need to operate. With a target, I think you're trying to get it to a GER of 50%.
Yes, sir.
That's not going to be possible
Without
using the traditional in-person campus-based programs. So a massive expansion of distance blended online learning is the only way that you could possibly achieve that. And the challenge is, how do you do that in a way that you can be sure that it can be sustained but maintain quality?
So what are the key areas of collaboration between School of Open Learning and Commonwealth of Learning?
At the moment, not a great deal. This is, I think, the beginning of a discussion and a partnership.
So maybe with respect to faculty development programs or something on those lines.
This is something I'll be discussing with the team.
Okay, sir.
We've just started that discussion, but probably yes, around capacity building, around thinking about ways of doing more authentic assessment. What are some of the policy implications that may be involved for that? How can we enrich the relationship between the regulatory authorities and the School of Open Learning within the College of Open Learning? And by the way, I like the idea of the campus of open learning. So you have a COL RADIO, and it sounds like our COL as well.
Yes,
so,
correct.
So I think there's a synergy there.
There's a synergy.
Yeah, so I think we're at the beginning of a discussion.
Right. So what are your key takeaways from our international conference on ODBL 2026?
First, this has been an excellent conference, superbly organized, very well structured. I've really enjoyed the way in which you did the keynote sessions with 3 or 4 speakers bringing diverse ideas together. I think my key takeaway is you are facing the same kinds of challenges as other parts of the Commonwealth. It's just at a much larger scale.
Right.
And so the challenge is how you can leverage the technology that is available to personalized learning journeys, to break them down into smaller, more manageable chunks so that students can learn something, apply it immediately in their workplaces or wherever, and aggregate those up over time. So I think employability, micro-credentialing are two big areas. And yes, of course, we're at the beginning of this journey with AI.
Yes.
So we need to kind of put in place some kind of set of ethical principles that we all agree to for both students and staff in how we make use of AI. And it's also forcing us to rethink our engagement with open educational resources, because obviously your LLMs and such like harvest from lots of different places.
Right.
How do we make sure that our sources are properly acknowledged and that we're using the right content in the right ways, and that we build amongst faculty and students the ability to check the reliability and validity and the sources of the content that they are using.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. And I'm sure that the synergy that we've built over this time, we'll be exploring it more. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.